And that's really important to note because I just had this crazy revelation before having a shower. Like, I just can't make none of this stuff up. This is crazy to me how, like, everything is just happening. Okay. Well, remember, God has spoken to me Sunday. He's spoken to me directly. Monday, he's spoken to me directly. Tuesday, he came and spoke to me. Okay, you guys, so this is Monday, April the 8th, day 22. So I'm not really on camera because I actually look like yesterday, and I didn't really do anything. I didn't journal. I did sleep last night to a Grace and Glory video just so that I could wake up to positive things, really. And I got a package, so I'll show you what I got there, and we'll just keep going. I ended up ordering some stuff from Amazon that my grandmother used to use back in the day in our hair, the Glover's mane that like really smelled really bad because I have this problem area. Like my kitchen will not grow. It's crazy. My kitchen, and then like my edges, you can't really tell, and I'm not gonna show you, but it broke off like really bad, like really bad. And so it just like, it's this one spot, like these just two spots that actually will not grow. It's the craziest thing ever. But so I ended up ordering some of that stuff along with some I got some liquid chlorophyll because I've heard some really great things about that, and I've been wanting to try that. And I also got, so here's the Glover's mane that I ordered. I'm gonna use this for my hair. And I actually also ordered some magnesium citrate because I've been in the house and I've just been eating a lot of junk, and my digestive system just really doesn't work well. And I really like this because this stuff like really cleans me out really good, and it tastes really good. But I probably didn't even need to get the magnesium citrate because I ended up trying this liquid chlorophyll, and but what I didn't realize is, I saw it in the reviews, but I didn't realize, I just didn't pay attention to it. Like, it stains. It goes on green. And so I made some tea. I thought maybe it would, if I mixed it with some tea instead of just like plain water, it would help. So I had mixed it with some tea and some emergency. But as you can see, it's still like really like potent in terms of green. I was going to add some additional water. Yes, I'm using a pot because I threw my kettle away because I planned on getting a new one because I was supposed to be moving into a house and I just wanted to redecorate everything. So don't judge me right now. It's a rough time for me, okay? But needless to say, I was like, dang, I done made this and I don't have a straw. I was like, what am I going to do? And I was like looking around in my drawers and things for a straw, and I couldn't find a straw. And I was like, what the heck? So I made this before I started saying my prayers. All right. And I had sat down, started saying my prayers, letting it cool off and everything. And I came back over here as the water was like boiling. So that was going to be like my second alternative. I was going to try to add more water and maybe it wouldn't be so potent. But clearly I just added more water and it's still just as potent. But I was like, okay, I'm still going to need a straw. Like, I can't drink this because I don't want it to stain my teeth. And I'm like, I walk over here and I'm like, Lord, I need a straw. What am I going to do? So literally something just told me to step on over here, and I went into the cabinet here, and what is the first thing that I see? Boom. My little pineapple that I had there that I never use, it has a straw in there. And so that is the straw that I'm using, and I'm going to continue to use because I'm not going to buy any, because I mean, I'm only using it for this. And yeah, but I thought that was so cool. Like, God letting me know, I feel like that He's still hearing me. So I feel like that's just a little sign that God, He's still listening to me. He's just still working on the background. So I feel like that is just kind of like a little message from God. Like, baby, I hear you, okay? I hear you, my child. Everything is going to be okay. The only thing I need to do is figure out this head of mine because, Jesus. Okay, you guys, so midweek it got really dry. Like I mentioned, I was feeling very aloof. And Tuesday was pretty significant for me because I did not journal on Tuesday, but I did get a text message which turned into a phone call from one of my previous clients who used to refer a lot of clients over to me. That made me feel really, really good because, like I said, she was not a customer, she was really a client of mine. And she came to me like consecutively for 2 years. She was one of my first clients, and she referred additional clients over to me who gave me very good feedback. And that meant a lot for me because I had just came off of a client complaint. So that was just like, I really needed that phone call. And like, I just felt like God was telling me, like, don't feel bad, keep going. This next part is going to be so good that I just really had to get on camera. Don't mind me, I'm sitting in my closet because I live on a pretty high traffic street, and I actually live on the intersection of that street. So, on the corner of the intersection. So, when cars are stopped at the light, a lot of times I can hear their music and it just really sucks. So, whenever I do videos, I do them in my closet right now. So, don't judge me, okay? But I really felt the need to just kind of be a little bit more intimate with this conversation because um Wednesday of this week was really good overall, okay, despite um like the lack of like more like material things. But it was a really, really good week. And if you see me looking down, it's because I have my notes here, okay? And I'm just trying to kind of stay on par. All right, so let's get into it. So Wednesday, all right, just in case if you missed it, God has been talking to me, and this is like, I'm actually doing this live in week 13. Okay, so this is actually me like in June. Is it June? It's June. Yeah, it's June. Okay, so I'm actually doing this on June the 18th, and that's really important to note because I just had this crazy, crazy revelation before having a shower. Like, I just can't make none of this stuff up. This is crazy to me how like everything is just happening. Okay. Well, remember, God has spoken to me Sunday. He's spoken to me directly. Monday, he's spoken to me directly. Tuesday, he came and spoke to me. Ain't no way that May just randomly called me and talked to me for 45 minutes, okay? Now, May is like the cutest Asian woman ever, and she's like the realest Asian woman ever. Me and her, we would have treatment sessions, and she would be just giving me all of this life advice, all of this business advice, just crazy. May is phenomenal, okay? I absolutely love May, but sometimes I will ignore May because May can be a little chatterbox, but needless to say, I love her to pieces. So for her to just randomly call me, especially after I had been feeling down, because on April the 4th, I had got a client complaint. And so I felt really bad about it because this client she wasn't really just your ordinary client for me anyway. She was the first person who reached out to me when I announced that I was moving to Charlotte. And she was like, kept following up, but then she kind of like fell off, and I felt like I had missed the lead. And then she ended up booking with me. So for her to end up booking with me, and then she booked a pretty big package, and then not to mention, she was the first person ever to take advantage of my payment plans options that I use, which was just like really amazing. So for me to not be able to satisfy her, um, it really weighed on me. I felt really, really bad. And I was like down in the dumps or whatever. So here it is, 5 days later. I get this phone call from May, and May is asking me, like, and I haven't treated May in like at least 6 months. And May is like, she's contacting me to tell me that her hair is starting to grow back and she doesn't know whether or not she should get waxed. And so I have all of my clients, I recommended two specific places to them before leaving that I highly recommend. I actually recommended the place that I used to go to before I started doing my own laser. And she was like, no, if they don't have the same, she was like, do they have the same machine as you? And I know that they don't have the same machine as me. They use like the older traditional route. I use a more modern technology, which is amazing, and it's pretty much pain free. I have the Tesla of lasers. So she's like, well, if they don't have the same machine as you, I don't want to go. I'm not going to them. She was like, I'm gonna just get waxed. And it made me feel so good because I was just like, oh my gosh, for her to experience that with me and to feel like she doesn't want to go anywhere else moving forward is like crazy. So I really needed that. Wednesday, he rolls around, okay? Meanwhile, I'm feeling very aloof this day. I felt pretty bad. So I did some meditating to Grace Winds, and that led me over to Deuteronomy 28. All right. Then I also listened to another video by Tiphani Montgomery, the prophet that I was originally talking about. All right. Now remember, I don't really like Tiphani too much. Not like I don't like her as a person. I think her delivery for her messages, I think it's just far beyond where I am right now in my Christian journey. And sometimes I feel like I don't feel like her messages go over my head. I honestly just don't like her delivery. She just be she be a little unhinged sometimes if you ask me. I just can't watch her all like I just can't watch her too much. But so for me to watch her again, it's like, girl. And then if you really think about it, from the Sunday sermon, Pastor Ravel was saying, God will send you a word through people, prophets, and problems. And in the sermon, he had actually used an example. It was like, you might not like me, but I'm a real prophet. I'm gonna still give you the word whether you like me or not. And she did. She did give the word. And I didn't realize it when I watched it before, but as I watch it back in hindsight, I realized that she was sending me a message. She's letting me know that.
So you have people that are literally getting ready to give up on God. Tiphani, I just don't know what else to do. I'm serving God. I'm doing all of this. So what? The marriage should be the least of your concerns until you can look at God and say, God, you told me I was going to get married. So I'm fully persuaded. Just like in Genesis chapter 22, where when God told him to sacrifice his son, Abraham told them people, hey, saddle me up a donkey. I need 2 of them, but we both going to be back down. We're both going to be coming back down. You have to be able to sacrifice your marriage. You heard God say you were going to get married, so much so that you say, you know what, God, you told me I was going to get married. I believe you for my husband. I believe you for my wife. But God forbid it never happens. You are still God. You still sit on the throne. You are still my Alpha and my Omega. You are still my Elohim. You are still my Ancient of Days. You are still my El Shaddai. You are still my Jehovah Shalom. You are still my God. It doesn't matter what you never give me, you're still God. You got to be like the 3 Hebrew boys. Put me in a fiery furnace and my God is going to deliver me. But if he don't, he's still God. And I'm still never bowing to you. Until you can get to that place with God concerning your marriage, baby, you can count that marriage out. I don't care how many years of bride fast you do. You can count that one out because God is not going to give you a gift that he knows you're going to start to bow down to worship. It's not going to happen. Until you put God in his rightful place.
Now, just in case if you missed the topic at hand, the subject matter is idols, all right? Idols that we put before God. In this particular example, she uses marriage, but if it relates to me, it would be my career. Forever, I've always put my career on a higher pedestal, I feel like, than God. I used to actually say, you could pretty much take everything from me, just leave me with my career. If I have a job, I know that I can build everything else, everything that I've lost all over again. And it's crazy because it's really the other way around. It should be the other way around. It should be, as long as I have God, then I can rebuild everything. And if I'm being honest, for a long time, that is the idea that I had in my head, and it couldn't be further from the truth. In the video, she led me back to, she recommended that the viewers read Psalm 121 and Acts 12. Chill, let's get into it, okay? Because this is where it really gets crazy, okay? Now, we can go ahead and start with Acts 12. My first encounter with Acts 12 was back in July of 2013. And this is when I'm deciding whether or not I want to follow through with quitting my job. Okay? So, I went to this random church one day in my neighborhood, a church that I never had been to before, and the pastor, he was preaching from Acts 12. Now, the big takeaway with Acts 12 is that this is about Peter, one of God's disciples, who is thrown in jail by the king Herod. I think it's Herod. He was thrown in jail by him. King Herod had just killed James, and he was getting ready to kill Peter. But until the time had came for his execution, he had him in jail, and he was being watched by these armed guards. Now, he was shackled in jail, and he was being watched by 4 guards. Yeah, I don't even need it because I remember this story. I don't even need my text for this. And so Peter was literally in jail. He's getting ready to be executed, and he's shackled with chains, and he's asleep on a bench. All right. He's just asleep. He was not worried, not even the least bit. He ended up being rescued by the angels, basically. He ended up being rescued by the angels, but the point is that Peter was in a very compromising and very stressful situation, and yet he was not worried at all. He was asleep. The man was asleep in shackles, y'all. And because he had already followed God on several occasions before, and he had already knew that the great work that God could perform, and he was confident in the fact that as a disciple of Jesus, that he was going to come and save him. And sure enough, he did. So I found it very ironic that in this week of me feeling worried and feeling aloof and, just kind of not feeling well, God led me back to Acts 12 by this prophet, all right? Now, the other one, Psalm 121, if you look at that one, I'm going to pop it up on the screen, and we can read it together. It says, I lift up my eyes to mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. Here it is. Again, I'm worried, but God is like, here it is. So God has already told me, okay, through Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, that he does not sleep, okay? He does not miss a beat. Honey, when I was looking for that straw, he came through clutch, okay? When what was it? When I needed that I needed a pick me up in regards to my business, he sent May to call me. And when I'm sitting here talking about I don't like people, he literally had the pastor come in and do a whole sermon on people. God hears and he sees all. And the fact that that straw situation was so instantaneous and it was just right then and there lets me know that God is still hearing me and he's still talking to me. So, and then to double down on it, okay, with the scripture, Psalm 121, it just solidified it, and it was very it spoke volumes to me. So yeah, that was basically Wednesday, you guys. And the importance of today's date, okay? The importance of today's date, and I'll talk about Deuteronomy 28 later because I don't really want this to get too long. But back in April is when God was sending me the first message. But I honestly feel like the message that he's sending me is so far beyond where I feel like I am in my spiritual journey that I missed it then. All right. But he's telling me, here it is again. He is telling me back in April, led me to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 is basically about how you need to follow God's commandments in order to reap the fruitful harvest and maintain the fruitful harvest that God has promised you, in order to step into that promised land that God promised you on earth as it is in heaven. Okay? Deuteronomy 28, remember. I missed it back then, okay? Today, here it is, June 18th. I was having a revelation. I was actually having a conversation with myself that led to a revelation. So, and in preparation for this video, God is like really, really chit-chatting to me, okay? Like, it's crazy how much he's chit-chatting to me, all right? That was pretty much my Wednesday, all right? So Thursday came along. I didn't do any journaling on Thursday. I got a new customer. Thursday, remember, throughout the week, I kept talking about my hair and how my hair was a mess and I needed to figure out something to do with my hair, but I just really didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money on getting my hair done. So Thursday, I got up and I actually ended up going to a braiding shop, and I found an African braiding shop, and I found where they would just basically like, they braided 2 perimeter braids around my hair for me, and I ended up being able to tighten up my weave, and it looked brand new. Okay, so that was Thursday, and they only charged me $10 to do it. Only charged me $10 for that. And then there was also this incident where I had got I was inquiring about this vendor event that, come to find out, this guy that was trying to date me was hosting. Okay, so I reached out to him about the vendor event, and he sent me back a link, a made up link that had no information on it, and was like, basically it cost $100 to be a vendor in the event. So granted, I don't really mind paying it, but considering my circumstances, I just be trying to be a little bit more wise with my money and just trying to figure out what's worth it and what's not. Really, not really sometimes, right? Really. And so I just felt a little indifferent, considering that I felt like, one, he just made the link up as soon as I had texted him. I don't even think that he had it together because it had no information. It didn't tell you whether or not there was a table involved. And granted, it was no table involved. So it didn't tell whether it was indoors, outdoors. It had no information on there. So I just really felt like he made it up. And he had met me before. He's been to my shop. And sometimes people just look at me and they just automatically see dollar signs. All right. We ain't talking the way I look right now. We're just talking about when I be out and about. Okay. So I just felt like, is he trying to get over on me? So, but needless to say, I went talking to God about it on this day. Okay. So no, I was talking to God about that on Thursday, April the 26th. Okay. All right. Now let's head on over to Friday. Alright, you guys, so it's day 26, and as you can see, my hair looks as good as new. So now I can get out there and network and promote my business. Now remember, I missed all of the events for Monday through Thursday because my hair was not done. So yes, I went on ahead and I did that. I just got my nails done, and I think that they did a good job. They're a little bit long, but I figure since I'm not doing like my regular work, I might as well go ahead and get long nails. So I'm getting ready to head to this women empowerment event, and I'm hoping to do some networking. I was supposed to go and pass out some flyers today, but that didn't happen. It didn't go as planned, but I did leave some flyers in the nail salon. So but it feels good to have my little nails done. They look cute too. She did good. They wanted to take pictures and stuff of my nails. I was like, okay. But yeah, so here I go. All right, y'all. So today is like day 26 or something like that. So yesterday I went out to a networking event and I had a lot of fun. I met some really good people. So today there was another event. There's 2 events that I'm supposed to go to today. So I ain't gonna sit here and tell you that I've been dreading, despite the fact that I know I need to go to this event. I've been dreading going to this event. I do not like talking to people. I'm so scared to go in here. This is like the last hour and a half of the event. Finally made it here, and I'm scared to go in there. One, I feel like I'm overdressed. 2, I'm just scared to go in here and talk to these people. Chill, y'all know I don't like talking to folks. I'm scared poopless. This is so terrible. Like, I don't know why I'm so grown and scared to talk to people. And it's so crazy because when I talk to people, I do really well. But, well, this is the scariness is ghetto. Okay, so let me just say that I came from out of the event. I went in there and I did what I needed to do, y'all. Your girl is growing balls. I'm just trying to tell you, okay? So I went in there, went around to the tables. There was a few vendors in there sitting around. I went in there, asked them about their information, and boom, exchanged my information, okay? Even met a few familiar faces in there. It was nice, and they had some really nice vaulted ceilings. I can't wait to show you. But yeah, I did what I needed to do. So we about to be moving on to the next event, okay? My mom is so funny. She sent me a text message this morning, and it was like, chin up, chest out, you got this. And it's so crazy how, like, I just always feel like my mom knows. Like, my mom is crazy. Like, it took a lot for me to just realize, you know, how much of a mom my mom is to me, because I was so focused on the things that I desired and what she couldn't provide me, that I never really, you know, just kind of sat in and just really admired the things that, you know, about her that she just does just naturally. And one of the things is, as I honestly feel like my mom always knows when there's something wrong with me, despite me telling her not. She always finds out whatever I'm trying to keep from her. She knows. It's so crazy. So for her to send me that this morning on a day when I was like really scared to go out here and talk to people and do what it is that I really need to do for myself right now, lets me know that she knows. She just does. I haven't confirmed it yet. But yeah, that I do. I love her for that. Not only for teaching me how to pray, but it is so funny as I say that the song "When I Pray," something happens when I pray comes on. But yeah. All right, we are letting the people know that 2 Boys is out here, and we're trying to make some things happen. And hopefully, we see some results this month. Okay, guys. So it is still like day 26. I just I'm headed to the next event. I went in the house, changed my clothes, I showered, and like redid my makeup and stuff.